Hello, good evening, and welcome once again. This is your host, Mr. Simeon, taking you in introduction to ethical hacking. In this beautiful course, this is the second phase. This is our second or the third lecture we are having at this moment, actually, but this is our second recording. And we'll look at more information security terminologies today. That is what we're going to be looking into today. I'm going to be seeing one or two things that when you get into outside world and when you want to talk, when you want to speak, maybe during interview or one thing or the other, these are the terms you should be using. What does the terms mean? These are the terms you should be referring to, not speaking as if you are not a cybersecurity literate. Even though if you know what to do, even though you know what you need to discuss, you know what you need to say, you know what you need to show them, you know how you can show them that you are very good in what you can do practically. There are some terms that when you use them and you're not using it rightly, or it is too plain when it comes to English language. You are speaking pure English, you're not speaking like a cybersecurity expert. This could lead to them not believing that you know what you need to do. For example, imagine you an IT expert, an IT administrator, and you wanted to do something where they asked you to show them something on your laptop, and you wanted to bring your laptop out from the bag, and you want to tell them that, okay, please hold on, let me on my laptop. To a normal staff, to a just a random staff in the office that is not an IT inclined person, could use that word and say, let me on my laptop. But to an IT expert, it is a wrong terminology. It is very, very wrong. It's a totally wrong terminology. What that person is supposed to say is to say, I want to boot up my laptop, or say, please wait, let me boot up my laptop. Not, I want to on my laptop. Even though he knows what he wants to show them, with that word can piss them off. So right now, it's something that we cannot overlook. We need to look into the terminologies of information security. So, and with this, we'll be looking at the word assets, vulnerabilities, threats, exploits. What does exploits means? Risk, zero-day attack, daisy chaining, and doxing, and many more as we go into this concept. So, as we know that every field has its own language, and cybersecurity own too is not different at all. It's not different from them. So these are just 8 terms that are very essential, 8 terminologies that are very essential to any cybersecurity expert or any security professional expert. So understanding the differences between a vulnerability, a threat, and an exploit is very crucial. Many people, when they are talking, they can't make use of these words in a single sentence at a go. They will mix them up when they're talking about vulnerability and they're talking about a threat, and they're talking about an exploit. So maybe at the end of this class, I would say you should make use of this word vulnerability, threat, and exploit. You should use it as a single sentence, and I'll see if that sentence is actually correct. So let's go one by one and see it into. So when we're talking about assets and vulnerability, understanding assets and vulnerability is very, very key, is fundamental. So an asset is what we protect. That is it in a short form. An asset is what we protect. For example of an asset is servers, our data, our networks, and every other, our laptops, and every other things, even our websites, our database, anything that we feel we use our money to buy it or we use our time to develop it. All those things are nothing but they are our assets. Something we need to protect, something we need to guide against people intruding. So all those kind of things are our assets, or the things we call a company asset. So in a simple word, we could say an asset is any data or device or other components of the environment that supports information related activities. Example, a customer's database is an asset. A web server is an asset. Employee's laptop is an asset. Proprietary source code is an asset, and network routers is an asset. So when we talk about assets, we're talking about hardwares and softwares. We're talking about physical things and non-physical things, or imaginary things, not really imaginary, but they're existing in form of a code or a software or in form of a data that they are not touchable, they are not feelable, but they are very crucial to our organization. And this thing, we can do anything possible to protect them. They are not secret per se, but they are confidential. I come again, they are not secret, but they are very, very confidential. These are what we call, or that is known as, assets. Now, as we see here, vulnerability, you can see this looks like a hole, and anything could come out from it, and anything can go into it. So vulnerability in its own self is a flaw or a weakness inside that same asset that we are trying to protect. It's a flaw, it's a loophole, it's a weakness, it's a miscode, it's a kind of crack in a code that could be used to gain unauthorized access to our assets. It can be used to gain unauthorized access to our assets. So for example, now, unpatched softwares, weak passwords, misconfigured firewalls, SQL injection flow. Now, let me give you a real life example. It's just what I even did today in the office. That is one thing I did in the life of a cybersecurity expert. All what I was doing almost for all for the whole day was patching vulnerabilities of outdated softwares. There is already a CVE that has already came out for these patches in this software. CVEs are going to be some things we are going to be making use of. They are exploits that we're going to be making use of in this program to exploit a particular vulnerability. So CVE means common vulnerability exploits. Common vulnerability exploits. It's a kind of a little code or a small code that has been developed by hackers, maybe by the elite hackers, maybe by the black hat hackers, maybe by the white hat hackers, to test or to penetrate, to test the loopholes, the vulnerabilities in an asset. That means when we talk about SQL injection flows, we are talking about some coding errors inside your a particular kind of asset. For example, in a real life example, there was a case that was reported at a particular time that some people installed, I will not mention the name of the bank, but this bank IT guys installed a new ATM machine and they left it open. They installed it and they left it on with a default password, default reset password. So someone who has worked in that kind of area before, that kind of department before, was working by, saw a new ATM machine and was like, let him just try out the default ATM machine password, and he was able to dispense cash, reset the machine, and dispense cash from that default password. Luckily for that bank, it didn't take it and it didn't abscond with it because there was camera everywhere which has captured his face. But he entered into the bank to report the flaw to them and said, how can they install an ATM machine and they are still leaving it with a default password? So that kind of password is a password that can be injected into the database to see the weakness inside the database. So we have unpatched software, a Chrome, ordinary Chrome, or Microsoft Edge browser that is outdated could be a vulnerability in a system. And if there's an exploit for it, hackers can use that Chrome browser to gain access into our assets, into our network. Maybe for the first hacking I'm going to be doing with you, I'm going to be hacking a Windows system in your face. You are going to be installing Windows 10 or Windows 11 or both in our virtual machine, and I'm going to be showing you how to hack Windows 10. And as your own assignment, you record your screen for me. You're going to be hacking using the same step to hack a Windows 11 that has an administrator password, and you're going to see how I'm going to hack into it. That I'm going to tell you that Windows by default has a vulnerability in it. That is why you see some companies go for Linux operating systems such as Ubuntu, Linux, or they go for Mac OS. Because I can tell you that I can conveniently hack and bypass the admin password of any Windows 10 or Windows 11 or even Windows 7 or Windows 8 operating system. And I'm going to be showing you that in our next practical class. I'm telling you I'm not telling you the one I'm using. I'm not telling you the one you are using. I'm saying any Windows system, Windows device has this vulnerability. And I'm going to show you how to exploit that vulnerability, that loophole, and how you can also protect against this vulnerability. So we talk about threats. So a threat is a potential danger, like an hacker. Like I told you, a black hat hacker, script kiddies are threats. All those bad guys are threats. Everybody, any virus, any malware, any ransomware, anybody is trying to push into an organization or into a person's device or assets that it wants to exploit that thing is a threat. So a threat represents a possible danger to the computer system. It represents something that an organization doesn't want to happen. Sometimes some organizations use words like we've been hit. When you have been hit, it means a threat has been launched against you and possibly they have successfully gained entrance and they are spreading. So all they need to do is to look at the map of how far they have spread and they could capture them and roll back. Not right. Or they're not getting more than where they are. They can't spread more than where they are. So a threat represents a possible danger to the computer system. It represents something that an organization doesn't want to happen. For example, a malicious hacker trying to gain unauthorized access, or a disgruntled employee or malware authors trying to use your company to test as a testing ground for what they are trying to build or what they built. Now, that is a threat. So a threat is someone or a person that uses exploits to explore vulnerabilities in an asset. Do you see how I use that sentence? Are you with me? Do you see how I use that sentence? Are we still together? Can you unmute and let me know we are still together?
Yes, sir.
Very good. You can see how I combined those words together, even when I've not explained what an exploit means. So I would say an exploit is something that takes advantage of a vulnerability. You see that small software, that small software could be an apostrophe, it could be a single line, it could be multiple lines of code that takes advantage of a vulnerability is what we call exploit. So an exploit explores or takes advantage of a loophole in the organization or in our assets or in our web server or in our web applications. So like I told you that a threat is someone or person or organization that uses exploits to explore or try to gain access, that exploits a vulnerability in a particular asset that is existing in a particular asset. So we are not threats. We are only being trained how threat actors work, so we can see what they are doing and we can also block the same thing. Are you taking this class from your mobile phone or you're taking this class from your laptop? Which one?
It's from my mobile phone. My laptop is charging now.
Okay, I would have asked you to try out something yourself, possibly maybe share your laptop screen and ask you to try out something yourself, which I want to do right now. And let's see if I'm also a victim of that thing. And if truly I'm a victim of it, which almost everybody is also a victim of it, almost everybody. I wanted to show you in the last class, but let's see. This is the browser I'm making use of, especially Google Chrome has this particular kind of vulnerability. And let's see if we can exploit that vulnerability now. Let's act as a threat actor to exploit that vulnerability. And what we're going to be seeking for is people's password. So this is my system for educational purpose only. I'm going to be looking for password without using any software, just knowing how to navigate within seconds. That means if you see somebody's system that is open and the person went to maybe to the toilet, you can actually snap the person's password to his Gmail, to his Facebook, and every other kind of thing. Go back there and do whatever we want to do. Or let me use this sentence and say, hackers can do this thing when they see an open opportunity. Or even sometimes they could even tell you, please, can you borrow me your system? Let me quickly send a mail. And what they want to do is much more worse than what they said they want to do. So let's go through our first test. This is Google Chrome and not Mozilla, not Mozilla Firefox, not Edge. Mozilla Firefox too susceptible to this kind of exploits. Let's see this kind of vulnerability. So let's try to exploit a vulnerability, and that is to get our password. Our password. Try to see how we can get our password now, and let's go and pick. I mistakenly closed it. Sorry about that. Let's go and let me go back to our normal slide because I have to come back to it. Okay, we're there now. Exploit. So let's see if we can exploit the vulnerability of Chrome keeping users' password in their browser, especially when you're signed in. I don't really do that mostly, but let's see how we can exploit that. So you go to these three dots here. It's like a kind of dots on top of each other, these three dots, and click on settings. I want to show you the fast way. Just come into this search and type password and type password. It search automatically and it says Google Chrome found some safety recommendations. Let's leave that. Let's go into Google Password Manager. Okay. Oh my God. Really? Can you see? Can you see all these are sites that saved my password? Can you see all these? Even me, that I'm a
Yes, sir.
cybersecurity expert. Can you see what just happened now? I'm sure if I open any of these, my password is saved. Look at my Facebook. Oh my God. Can you see? This is a very big vulnerability. They think they are helping us. They think they are helping us, but to one way or the other, threat actors who knows how to how can I call it now? Threat actors who knows how to exploit a vulnerability, who knows how to search a vulnerability, who knows how to exploit the vulnerability, can actually hack some people through this. Look at this. Look at this. This is namecheap.com. I host some of my websites here, and I can actually click here. Look at it. See my password. I just need to open it. And do you know the funniest thing? All I just need to do is to pick this. Can you see the password? You see the password?
Yes.
I just need to go here, open it, namecheap.com. Can you see? It's here. Everybody, I'm sure even you are very, very susceptible to this kind of vulnerability. Google will pop up and say, save your password. We are trying to help you. You will think they are trying to help you, which is true, to remind you this kind of thing. Let's assume this person do not have access to this password or to this laptop. Let's assume the person has snapped the password and the person came to his own browser and clicked on namecheap.com. Let's assume the person clicked on namecheap.com and was able to go to my password manager. The person was able to go to my password manager and was able to copy. And let's go to Namecheap login. Namecheap login. Sign in. Paste. And let's see. This is live hacking that you are seeing now, bro. This is a vulnerability in Google Chrome. Let's see if this enters. That means this is something else. Okay, we detected unusual activity in your account, so it's temporarily locked. Can you see that? Maybe there's a problem with this account. It is temporarily locked, and one way or the other, and it could be what I've said, that I must not use incognito, you understand, to log in. What about the person is trying to use another browser to log in? So this is how it is. Let's even look at Facebook. It's very, very possible if it was a Facebook account. I look at my Gigi, look at some schools I develop websites for, look at my OpenAI Cloud ChatGPT. So even if it's my Facebook, or possibly my mail, look at my Facebook. So even if it's my Facebook here, and I copy my username and my password, that means it's a goner. Do you get that? That means it's a goner. Look at my GitHub. So these are what we call vulnerability. Do you see how I just exploited a vulnerability in seconds? What did it cost me? I just need to tell somebody that I don't know before and just tell the person, please, can you borrow me? I want to quickly check a website. I just need to click 1, click 2, search for password. Password 3, it comes by itself. 3, scroll down, click on Google Password Manager, and that's it. Boom. Boom. And I just go to the person's email, the person's Facebook, person, whatever, snap it and give the system back to the person and say thank you. In 5 seconds, I'm in. I'm in. So this is what we call exploit. I just exploited a vulnerability. I'm very sure even you do not know that Google Chrome has this kind of problem, has this kind of vulnerability. Let's check this. Let's see if Microsoft Edge has the same problem. Settings, password, clear browsing history, Microsoft Password Manager, more settings, add the password, nothing is here. But with what I'm looking at, there's a password manager and it's asked to save password and passkeys. So the first thing you need to do is to shut this off from your system. You see, strong password recommendation, shut it off from your system. All these kind of things allows you to save password, allows you to save password in your browser that anybody could pick. So one way or the other, this is one of the mitigations. Shut off your browsers or to save passwords. That is it. That is it. That is an exploit. You see the way I just exploited a vulnerability. I could be a threat actor if this is not my lab, if this is not my personal system. What I just showed you for educational purposes, it's not is something that can ruin someone's life. You can see how I was able to. My assets are my social medias. Look at how a threat actor just uses an exploit against a loophole and compromised an asset. That's just it. Thank God I could not log in into the name chip. I've already used multi-factor authentication and all those kind of things and sent codes to my phone and everything like that. Same as also as other things. But actually, when you see this, you should know that that is the beginning of hacking. What does risk and 0 day mean? Risk is a potential for loss. Risk means a potential for loss. Risk simply means if risk is like what will happen. Okay, let me say risk is defined as the impact resulting from the successful compromise of an asset. So when an asset has been impacted, that's another word. Impacted means has been attacked. They have gained access into that particular um, asset. So they would say, what is the risk of the impact? Then we measure the risk of the impact. So a vulnerable Apache server that is targeted by hackers, that is the threat actors, could cost close to $1 million in breach damages. So the impact is called high risk. There are some things, there are some vulnerabilities that when they kind of calculate the impact is high risk. Some of them is called critical. That means it could bring down a whole company. It could bring down a whole company. So we have what we call 0 day. 0 day attacks refers to threats and vulnerabilities that can exploit the victim before the developer even identifies or release any patch for it. Do you understand what this one means? Meaning a developer is presently developing something, they just finished developing it and they send it out to people and tell people to use it for free to test that software and bring back what can we call it, feedback. And even before the developers could even say they want to develop a patch, even before the developers say they are testing, they want to know the kind of vulnerabilities that is lying inside that software they develop. A hacker has discovered it and he has exploited it and is using it to hack people. He's using it to hack people. I will not mention a particular kind of browser like that some people installed at a particular time. This browser has a game inside of it, and they just quickly released that version. They call it the beta version, and people downloaded it, and almost everybody that downloaded that browser, hackers had access into them. There were a few weeks ago, I think around last month or late January, even Node, a back-end developer software, Node.js, sent a lot of messages to everybody who is IT inclined and not IT inclined. They made adverts to say people should quickly patch and update their node that is a kind of vulnerability was discovered for it. So 0 day simply means when software developers develop a particular kind of a software, in no time before the developer develops discovers it or even releases a patch, even releases an update for that particular software, hackers has discovered it and it has gone. They've used it to gain access. So we have another one called daisy chaining and doxing. So these are two advanced concepts. A daisy chaining is using one compromised system to attack another. You've already gotten an access, or let me say an attacker, a threat or threat actor has already gotten access, has already impacted a particular system in the network, and is not using that same system because it's a trusted system in that same network. It's not using that system to gain access into many more systems, to spread more tentacles, to move from one device to another to be able to harvest confidential informations. So, like a domino effect, when you look at a domino effect, that spiral domino effect, doxing is publishing private information about individuals, often with malicious intent. So, daisy chaining is sequential process of several hackings or attack attempts to gain access to network or systems. These are systems now, one after the other, using the same information and the information obtained from the previous attempts. That means when they hack system A and use it to attack system B, I use the information of system B to attack both the system C and any other systems in the network. That is from A to B, from B to C to D, till they spread around the network and hold that network into ransom. Doxing, what does doxing means? Doxing means, the term doxing refers to publishing information or a set of information associated with individual. This information is collected publicly, mostly from social media or other resources. Like there was one that I recently saw. I'm very sure you know about a musician that reigned, is actually a legend in Nigeria, that reigned for years, but nobody saw his face. You know him? His name is called Lagbaja. Do you know him? Hello, are you there? Can you unmute?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know a musician called Lagbaja? His stage name is called Lagbaja.
That is where, yes, that is where
That's
that
that
stuff on his
sings
head.
sax, yes, that uses mask. Now, do you know people
Yes,
have been able to dig into his past before he started singing, before he started doing a lot of things, and they've discovered his real name and they've discovered his real face and they've
ah,
published his image. His real
yes.
name is. Did you see? Did you get the news too?
Yeah, I googled the guy, so I saw his face and his name.
Okay, this is his name. This is his name. BC Arogundade. See, even with BC Arogundade, nobody could know who he was. Out of all those things, see, nobody could know who BC Arogundade was. But if you say BC Arogundade Lagbaja, I'm sure that should be able to come out. Yeah, this is it. This is his face. This is his face. Somebody went back. Look at him here. Reveals his identity and everything. See, look at him. This is Mr. Lagbaja, nothing for you. Okay, so one way or the other, this is what we call doxing. If it was not intentional, maybe they had access to him, it was not intentional. They got his social media accounts, his past life, his secondary school life. Maybe he went to, what do we call it now? He went to his son's graduation's party, and he was able to use that to snap generally with the family, and somebody identified him, took his picture and begin to push it out there and say this is Lagbaja. That is what we call doxing. And let me tell you, it's not only about showing face. It's not only about showing people's credentials. I'm talking about uploading confidential emails, evidence, and even screenshots and letters, confidential letters that can be very, very implicating or that can bring someone down. And also doxing, part of doxing is also when you get some people's nude images, maybe from Snapchat or from some particular kind of place they hid it, and you just publish it into some sites like that, and just publish some details about them and everything, their face and everything. So doxing warning, what you post online can be used against you. Do you see that? At the moment, are you hearing of the case of Simi, the wife of what's his name now?
Definitely
Adekule
good.
Gold. Are you hearing
Definitely good.
about that? Despite she has deleted her Twitter, so people had screenshots of what she posted. I don't know if you were able to see those news.
Yes.
Okay, I'm happy you were able to see tweets. Simi's deleted tweets. She posted a whole lot of things. And she said, I heard she deleted it, but there are places. Okay, look at this. Look at this. This is one. Look at it. If this is it. Why this 4-year-old boy try put hand inside my shirt? Ogbeni wash it oh. Inside your shirt. What kind of thing is that? Look at this. I think this is more implicating. Somehow. Let's see what is being posted here. Men should hold other men accountable. Many of you create safe space for your friends, perverted and wished behavior because I'm not like that. Meanwhile, somebody said, Madam, hold your husband accountable. See what you married and you were here displaying your stupidity. Imagine. You should be ashamed of yourself. I love girls that are very vulnerable. Imagine. Very defenseless. They have an imagine. Imagine. Can you see what you post? Can this girl ever expect that people can bring something like this? So one way you can protect your company's image and even confidential things about you, your personal self, is watch what you post online. Watch what you post online. The pictures, your locations, telling them I'm traveling right now, we've gotten to this particular place, is very, very detrimental. And as a cybersecurity expert, henceforth, it should end henceforth with immediate effect. Okay. About this said, we're going to be going to penetration testing. We're going to be going to penetration testing and we're going to be going into what is the main difference between ethical hacking and penetration testing. Some people used to say I'm a pen tester, I'm a pen tester. Some people used to say I'm an ethical hacker. So what is the difference between penetration testing and ethical hacking? So penetration testing is often confused with ethical hacking, though they are not exactly the same, but they may look the same. So a penetration test is a structured formal assessment with specific deliverables. Think of it as a security audit with hacking techniques. Are you getting it now? So mostly what they do is that they find vulnerabilities, they document everything. They just find and verify that there's an exploit for it. There's a way I can teach you this. There's a software we use for there's a software we use for even to buy an ethical a penetration tester. Within a week, you can be a penetration tester. There's a software called Nexus, and I don't know if I'm going to be taking you in Nexus. I don't know. This is it. I don't know if I'm going to be taking you in Nexus. Nexus is actually a vulnerability scanner. Can you see that? A Nexus vulnerability scanner. So a penetration tester could use Nexus to know what your vulnerabilities are, to expose it, and even know what kind of exploit is available for it. But a vulnerability assessment person would not exploit that vulnerability. Oh, what am I saying? I mean, a penetration tester would only discover the vulnerability assessment, would only discover the vulnerability, but would not exploit it. They don't work with exploits. Are you getting me now? They don't work with exploits. Nexus is a vulnerability scanner. I've used it so many times. I love it. See, it tells you what and what and what and what, and these are the tools that are inside of it. These are the tools. These are the tools inside of it. It's a very big one. It's a very big one. It tells you the level of severity if it's been impacted. The level of severity. So Nexus is the vulnerability scanner. It has the Kali version. It has the window version. This is it. Analyzing. Look at it. Can you see Nexus? So Nexus is one way. This is a tenable Nexus. So Nexus is a particular kind of software the penetration tester uses just to get vulnerability and confirm that the exploit is available. And where do they get a database they use to get that an exploit is available is called exploits DB. Exploits DB, yeah, exploitdb.com. These are sites where you can get the recent exploits. Even let's be sincere with ourselves, even without hacking, without hacking, you can come to exploitdb and check the most recent exploits about WordPress. And if your company is making use of WordPress, you can come here, search for WordPress, and know. I'm coming. Okay. Let's look for web apps. You can look for web apps. You can look for different kind of things. But what I do is okay, yeah, the WordPress has worked. See, look at this WordPress. Imagine, look at this. Look at this WordPress exploit. WordPress quiz maker, SQL injection. Imagine. Look at WooCommerce WordPress plugin. You see, SQL injection. See. So all you just need to do is to go to your site or whatever asset you have to confirm if you're not using any of this. If you're not using any of this, if you're using it, tell them immediately to upgrade. Look at it. Digit plugin version 8.4.6.1 as an authentication bypass via OTP brute forcing. Can you see this? I've not even hacked. I've not done anything. I'm just been penetration testing. So imagine I have a site which is an asset to my organization and they're making use of WordPress. I can come here every day or every week to just check what are the recent exploits available for WordPress. And I know all the plugins that we use, and immediately I can see the plugin here. Immediately I tell them to change it. Let's see if there's a plugin for Chrome. Let me see if I'm open to hacks, Google hacking, exploits, Google hacking, paper shell codes. Okay, let's see some CVEs. Some CVEs. Let's see if we can get some CVE. Okay, so there are ways to look at CVE, multiple SQL injection. So what I'm trying to say is that I don't want to open my company's security center for you. If not, I could have opened my company's security center for you. I want to show you that there is a way admin.microsoft.com. In this admin.microsoft.com, there's a way I can go to my security center and I can identify what are the most recent vulnerability in my organization. That makes me a penetration tester. As far as vulnerabilities, this is my company. Let's look into security. This is how you see how a penetration tester can use softwares to discover vulnerabilities inside a company. Now, we have a lot here which I work on every day, but one way or the other, I keep doing this every day. This is the software that my company uses. Just watch this. I'll be showing you how I'm going to go into vulnerability. So as a cybersecurity expert, you need to know how to use this software. So this is Microsoft Windows Defender. Can you see threats? Can you see exposure? So I can go under threat management. No. Okay. This is not my company's own, so it's possible I may not have access. This is what I use for my lab. I may not have access to what I wanted to show you. There's something called vulnerability management and recommendation. You will see this thing automatically scans my organization and brings out vulnerabilities that I need to scan, that I need to work on, softwares that has loopholes that I need to patch. So these are the way you can see them, I'm happy. This is even what is coming out right now. It's just a test lab for me for security, just to see what is going on in my organization. Let me see. Can you see this company has a secure score of 50.3? Yeah. Let me see if I can look at view history. Maybe I could see some vulnerabilities here. I think I'm seeing something like that. Okay. Let's look. These are points. These are not vulnerabilities. Those points are points that after a penetration tester has discovered vulnerability and you've patched it, these are points that you see. So let's see, improve your score. Let me see. Let me see if these are what I need to do to improve my score to be able to patch threats. Create safe links policy for your email messages. You see, create turn on attachment block mode. Can you see? Ensure that intelligence for impersonation protection is enabled. Move messages that are detected. Can you see it now? So all these things
Yes,
are
sir.
ahead. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that had it been my company's own opened, had it been I opened it, can you see? Yes, I think I can see something now. See, vulnerabilities. I think I'm able to get to vulnerabilities. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Look at CVEs. See, see. Can you see them? This CVE is only imagine Microsoft Office. Imagine this was discovered 27th. Let me increase it. This was discovered 27th. Where is it? 27th of January. You see, 2026. Microsoft will tell us to take a moment to go and update our Microsoft Office. That some hackers has developed an exploit. This is an exploit for whatever threat that is inside our company. Now, look at what I've done. I have scanned this particular company, whatever name it could be bearing. I've scanned this company, I've looked at it, I've discovered vulnerabilities, but watch, learn one thing, I did not exploit it. Do you understand? I only discovered.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I was able to find. Yes, I was able to find. I discovered that Microsoft is vulnerable. I was able to verify that there is an exploit for it, and all I need to do is to document it. Like now, this is an automated documentation. The one I showed earlier, what we need to do. Threat actors, can you see? Look at people. You see what I told you about threat actors? I know I mentioned threat actors, hackers. So this person's Amenti strain is from Lebanon. This person is from China. This person is from Russia. Can you see? So this is like an automatic, what can I call it now? An automatic report writing that you need to document. Let me see the tools. These are the tools they are using. See, there is an activator cryptocurrency wallet stealer. There is an agent Tesla credential theft malware, Akira ransomware, Alchemist framework. Can you see? Anubis, can you see? Anubis ransomware. All I just need to do is for me to just, as a penetration tester, I've discovered from a reliable source that these vulnerabilities are working. I just need to go and pick my recommended actions. I just need to go and pick my recommended actions, download everything. That's it. Download everything, send it to my I cannot call it my cybersecurity team, or let me say my IT team. I just send it to my IT team. You see what I just did there? Did I hack anything? Did I hack
No, sir.
anything? I didn't hack anything. But even without hacking, I was able to do what? Prove that a vulnerability is existing. Is that not true?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I was able to prove that the vulnerability is existing. So that is one thing about penetration testing. They scan, they discover. I made mention of you can come to this place to come and search for CVEs, Microsoft Edge, WordPress, PHP, Yeah, see PHP. So these are the things. You can use Exploit DB, you can use Microsoft Scanner, you can use Nexus Scanner, but you can even use Wazure as a cybersecurity expert. Wazure SIEM is free to use, it's open source. You can use Wazure help you to scan. Can you see? What is this? Let me zoom it for you. What's this?
Threat hunting.
Thank you. Threat hunting. Can you see? See the way it's scanning. See the way it's scanning? It's scanning all the old system. See? So you can install this and be scanning continuously even when you are sleeping. And you can look at alert level. When you see any red line, you pick action. So when you see this one, that means somebody is brute forcing. Is scanning password guessing. Somebody is trying password guessing. Somebody is brute forcing, and so on and so forth. These are the things you can look into. These are softwares that penetration testers, the tests they use. Not only Wazure, we have another one again. We call it Open EDR. This one is also okay. Depends on how you can blend with any one of it. But my own, the one I love the most is actually Wazure, because actually is widely used. Most used in some companies. It's a comprehensive login analytics, real-time threat detection. Can you see it? Can you see it? You can go and check up this video on your own. Automated threat response. Can you see that? Now, this is not you just being a penetration tester now. Even you are now trying to mitigate yourself using this particular software. Seamless integration, benefits, scalability, flexibility, and so on and so forth. So these are it. Even Microsoft endpoint that I showed you right now, Microsoft Security Endpoint, is also a penetration testing tool. Nexus is a penetration testing tool. Do you know that I've never mentioned Wireshark? I've never mentioned phishing technique. I've never mentioned Kali Linux. Did you notice that? Did
Yes,
you
sir.
notice that? I didn't mention
Yes.
it because I'm not exploiting. I'm only trying to discover. Wazure, OpenEDR, we help you scan, we help you discover. You can search exploit DB. You can, all those things is for discovery. But what is ethical hacking? Ethical hacking is to simulate the way a real attacker will behave in your environment when this vulnerability is being discovered. So, penetration tester will discover vulnerability, write documentation, and give recommendation, and people work on it. That means they are proactive, right? But an ethical hacker, we discover the vulnerability, we document both vulnerability, and we still go ahead and exploit it. Okay, why don't I just tell you right now that my Google Chrome, if you come to settings, it's possible we will be able to see the passwords. Is that not documenting the vulnerability? Is that not documenting the vulnerability?
Yes.
But I went ahead to do what?
Yes.
To exploit it. I can now write that I saw a vulnerability that your Google Chrome is susceptible to saving password for hackers can get it, and I'll still exploit all these sites one by one and try to log in and see which one has multi-factor authentication, which one does not have multi-factor authentication, like that. So, and I'll discover one thing again. Is this particular person or this company or this organization using one password across all platforms? Meaning, getting one password, you can daisy chain. You know what daisy chain means? You can use a particular method you use
Yes,
in
sir.
this one. Whatever you have, you can use it to launch attacks on every other website. You can daisy chain out that particular asset. So now I was able to go ahead. So what they do is that their real focus is that they go into real world exploitability verification. They verify, they exploit it and say, I was able to download all your documents. Maybe when I'm hacking one of our web server, Metasploitable 2, we're going to be downloading a particular document, and I'm going to tell you the software you need to use to download our FTP. We hack our FTP. We will get there and download every file server that is inside that FTP. For you to see how people can hack, how attackers, threat actors can hack this kind of things. I want to finish this today, so let me be fast so we can start properly lab setup next class. So pre-engagement and rules of engagement. Now I'm telling you something right now. To be a cybersecurity expert, especially when you are in the offensive team, you know you're going to be a cybersecurity expert. You could be in the defensive team, which is the blue team, and you can also be in the offensive team, the red team, right? So depending on what you choose that you think you blend well with, if you're going to be the offensive team, this is very, very good that you must do. This is something you must know. So it's called pre-engagement and rules of engagement. So before any penetration test, we must have the pre-engagement phase. This is where contracts are signed. This what make your hacking ethical. You must sign contracts. The scope must be defined and the rules must be established. Do they want you to just pen test, or do they want you to actually exploit? How many days, how many weeks, how many months do they want to give to you? You understand? Let me tell you the real truth. Without this, even ethical hacking becomes what? Illegal. Even ethical hacking becomes illegal. When you, even if you know the person, even though it's your family company, as far as it is not your own, even if it is your own and you have workers, you don't have rights to infringe on their privacy. You don't have rights to go into their data. Like I told you, integrity of data in CIA triad must not be tampered with. Remember the last class I mentioned CIA triad. Integrity
Yes, sir.
must not be tampered with. So what do we do as a red hat hacker? We have the pre-engagement stage. So this is the phase where both the customer and representative from your company would sit down and discuss about the legal requirements and the rules of engagement. They might tell you, don't talk to any staff. Just come here. Don't use our Wi-Fi, use your Wi-Fi. You know, all those kind of things. They give you what is involved. So methodology, how testing will be conducted. They will tell the methodology. So these are the questions you ask them. What is the methodology that we go? You ask them questions such as, should we do a black boxing or should we do a white boxing? I will explain that in the next slide. You ask them, are we doing a black boxing? Are we doing a white boxing? Black boxing, I will tell you. A black boxing means they didn't give you anything. Find all your tools yourself. You don't know anybody, you don't know anything. Try to gain access yourself. What are the delivery points? What are they expecting? What should we write report on? What are the milestones? What are the liabilities? Who is responsible for what? What are the timelines, the start time and the end date? What are the objectives of the test? And what is concluded and what is excluded? What are you not supposed to touch? Are you supposed to touch the server? Are you supposed to touch the access points? You list the assets that you're supposed to. So all must be mutually agreed upon before the testing begins. Please, before starting a penetration testing, it is good to practice. It is good practice to set up milestones so that your project is delivered as per the dates given in the rules of engagement. Now, this is what I spoke about in the last slide. Now, when they give you rules of engagement and they give you a particular kind of maybe methodology, or they give you a particular kind of objectives or milestones, whatever thing they gave to you, you ask them, should we go all black box? How real dark guys will hack you? Or Are you going to make it a white box or are you going to make it a gray box? And what does it mean? Penetration testing are categorized into by how much information the tester has. In black box, you don't have information at all. The only person you know is possibly the person or the team that is giving you this contract. There was a particular one I joined them. The particular company gave a friend of mine who happens to be that I was the person that taught the person ethical hacking. He now developed more in it. He did more courses and everything, and he got a contract and he called me and they said they want me to come and join them in this. And I said, which part do you want me to play? They said they want me to write reports, the whole managerial reports, or let me say management reports. And I said, what mode are we using? Black box, white box, or gray box? They said black box. I said, really? I said, yes. I didn't know the name of the company. I didn't know anybody. We just entered into the company that day. We did what we need to do. You can't believe I hacked them from the back of their fence. I was able to enter into their wireless network. Somebody entered into that place and just going to the WPS. I entered into their wireless network and I began to do my job. And I was able to do what I need to do. And I also hacked their websites, get some exploits against their PHP launched websites, and I discovered that there were vulnerabilities there. I wrote the report and I gave them total black box. I don't know anybody. So small information was just given to me, or let me say little information was given, and it simulates an external hacker. I act them like as if I'm an external hacker because I don't even know them. The only thing is that I didn't destroy anything. So most realistic attack simulation and takes more time. We did a lot of footprinting on that company. So when you talk about white box, full information is being provided. They'll give you a lot of books that you can read about the company, who is this, who is Mr. This, their picture could be there, what this person does, where the server room is, who's the gatesman, how you can talk to the gatesman. They might even introduce you in one of their meetings to some creme de la creme, some people. So they might even handle over your network maps, your credential, your source, your source code. They'll give it to you to go through it. So most thorough assessments and faster and deeper testing. So while gray hat is partial, information is being provided, not everything. Sometimes they can even tell you to come and hack a company and they'll give you the password to their Wi-Fi. Yes, they'll give you a password to their Wi-Fi, but some will not give you. They tell you, try to penetrate in. And we used to try that, which is very, very possible. So partial information provided. There was one I did one time, one black box hacking I did one time. I noticed they were using a kind of a mobile router, like a table router. I tried, I could not enter, and I don't have time again. I just went to the back of the router, dipped a pin there, reset it, get the reset password, and I hacked. I was able to enter. Everybody was out, enter into the network, and I did what I need to do. So these are black box, and partial information is being provided. It simulates insider threats. Somebody who's inside and can still be somebody who can give information to outsider. Balance of realism and efficiency, and most common in practice. So choice of test depending on the budget they are able to give, the time constraint they are giving you, the threat model they ask you to go through or they ask you to discover, and compliance requirements, because some compliance requirements in some company is too strenuous that to don't allow you to do too many things. So pen test categories, these are pen test categories. So realism is very, very real the way it is. And the time required is the most time because you need to do a lot of reconnaissance, footprinting, scanning to be able to get loopholes, vulnerabilities. So testing depth is medium and the cost is the highest. So white box, they give you almost all information. You just want to see what is not working well. They give you the source code. You want to see what is not working well. So they pay the lowest here. The gray box is you're already in. You simulate someone that is in. You just want to see who is susceptible to most times social engineering and so on and so forth. So recommendation, gray box is most common in practice. Balance realism with efficiency. Black box is for regulatory compliance and external threat simulation, while white box is for full code review and critical infrastructure. So cyber crimes and cyber laws, like I told you, that we have cyber crimes, and you being an ethical hacker, you must be guided by what is in the Cyber Act. So in Nigeria, cyber activities are governed by the Cyber Crime Act of 2015. This is critical knowledge. Ethical hacking operates within this legal framework. Understanding the law protects you and your client themselves. So, Cyber Crimes Prohibition and Prevention Act. Act this act creates a comprehensive legal, regulatory, and constitutional framework for prohibit, prevent, detect, prosecute, and punish cybercrime. So what they do is they protect. Talk about how you can protect computer system, electronic, what you can do, privacy rights to them. Like I told you, that even if you're the owner of the company, you can't just go ahead to just hack them. No. And this is the link to the reference of where you can see the PDF. So all ethical hacking must be conducted with written authorization, authorized access, and even without malicious intent. Because you're hacking a money firm or a financial firm doesn't mean you should not get some information from them that you can use to blackmail them or hold them at ransom and tell them to pay later in the future. That is very, very bad. So Cybercrime Act key provisions is it guides against unauthorized access, it identifies stealing of another person's identity is called identity thefts, hindering functioning of computer system is system interference. It talks about harassment through electronic means is called cyber stalking, and ATM and credit card frauds is called card frauds. You know, all these script kiddies, this is what they pick them mostly for, and production and distribution of exploitative content such as child pornography and every other kind of thing is a very big penalties. And what are the kind of penalties that might be allocated to unauthorized access, identity thefts, system interference, child pornography, and so on and so forth? You might pay up to 10 million naira or more than. The penalties also include imprisonment of like 3 years to life imprisonment, depending on how worst the case is, how severe the case is. And also, both can be fined, both the company and the people that employed you and you yourself can be fined and can also be jailed. So the Act provides a legal backing for prosecuting cyber criminals while also establishing the framework for cyber security and protection of infrastructure, critical infrastructure, which simply means um, in school, you are going to be diving deep into this, which I'll not be able to do now. You guys are going to do a whole course on this in school. So remaining 2 slides after this. So in summary, let's recap what we have done, what we've covered in the foundational module. This concept will be referenced throughout the entire course. Yes, everything we've been saying will be referenced throughout the entire course. So it's better you master them and the rest will be much easier. So ethical hacking is actually a lucrative profession. It is a very good career and it is 100% legal. When you have your cyber this thing, your cyber certification, you are being certified maybe by EC Council or other standard organization, you can tell people that you are an ethical hacker. So in that kind of place, in that kind of things, you can go on LinkedIn, you can show your pawning, your system, your scanning, what you've done with Nexus, what you've been able to analyze, the malware you've been able to analyze with Splunk. You will get to that place also. When it comes to SOC analysts, what you've been able to do, the main goal for the ethical hackers and both penetration tester is to keep the cyberspace secure for black hat hackers who their knowledge is for malicious activities. So we've learned about CIA triad, we've learned about types of hackers, learned about the 5 phases of hacking: reconnaissance, scanning, gaining access, maintaining access, and covering of tracks. Covering of tracks means like deleting your logs, maybe deleting your logs, deleting your tracks from firewalls and everything, using VPNs and so on and so forth. And cyber laws acts as a shield over cyberspace, so don't go out of this. So the difference between hacking and ethical hacking is what? Permission. Is nothing but permission. So always operate within legal and ethical boundaries. I would advise you. So the knowledge of what you are going to be learning here today, I'm not going to be working on real life thing. I'm going to be working on my own personal lab or a general lab that is being put up there to check how things how things work, how you can scan vulnerabilities, how you can detect vulnerabilities just for testing and educational purposes. So becoming a successful hacker, what do you need to do to become a successful hacker? All you need to do is to research, do more research, and more research. Excuse me 1 minute, please. 1 minute.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sorry for that little break. Are we still together?
Yes, sir.
Are we still together? So I'm rounding up. So what I say is
Yes,
that
yes.
the path to becoming an ethical hacker is continuous learning. There is no final destination. Technology evolves every time. Exploits comes out every time. Vulnerabilities comes out every time. So what we need to do that we must have this kind of mindset to be able to succeed. All you need to do is just to make sure that you research. And the next thing you do again, you make what? More research. And the next thing you do again is more research and more research. So the formula to a successful cybersecurity, what do we call it now? Cybersecurity career is you having the ability to self-learn, question a lot of things, read and make more research. You remember at the beginning of this course, I told you I'm going to be teaching you how to launch attack, how to make some things. I'm going to be teaching you that, but I told you that I will give you a particular material that you are going to be the one to read it yourself, study it yourself, and come back to explain everything in total. Do you remember I said so? Remember I said so?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so that is
Yes.
actually that might take close to like 3 weeks. You would do everything and you go back and you come back and tell me what you learn, and I will explain some of them to you. Any kind of roadblock you have, we have AI. When I was learning ethical hacking, there was no AI. Even Google did not know anything. Google did not know anything. So one way or the other, I might see some materials that are very useful that I'm not going to take in the class. I might send them to you, might share some to you, send you even videos. Apart from what you've learned with me, learn more, watch videos, let your FYP, let your page be dropping, be joining um what we call it, newsletters about recent exploitation, cybersecurity, ethics, ethical hacking ethics, anything about cybersecurity. Let your feeds be filled up with this and read them always. There's one site called The Medium. The Medium is a very good place you can subscribe to. LinkedIn is a very good place you can subscribe to, and so on and so forth. Even your browser, if I open my Chrome browser, all my feeds is all about cybersecurity. All
Hello?
as much as possible. Hello, are we together?
Yes, yes, yes. It was
Okay,
bad network. No.
okay. So so one way or the other, this is the end of this introduction to ethical hacking. So this concludes module 1 of our ethical hacking course. This is our third lecture with our second recording. And I hope you've gained valuable insights into the world of ethical hacking. Remember, with great power
Yes, sir.
comes great responsibility. Use these skills ethically and legally and for educational purpose, how you can protect yourself. Like the one I showed you the first class about um, homoglyph, homoglyphs. And today I showed you another one again about browser vulnerabilities. Next class, I'm going to be taking you about Kali Linux. Next coming class, I'm going to be taking you how to hack Windows Server and DDoSing, that is denial of service. So all these things is what I'm going to be teaching you. So one way or the other, make sure you don't know these things and you are being called by Yahoo boys or threat hackers or all these script kiddies calling you to tell you you know this thing, you can do this thing, you can create a virus, you can penetrate into somebody's Android device, you can penetrate into somebody's laptop, you can actually hack into someone's mail. So come and teach me or come and join us, please. Don't forget about the cyber crime regulation, the Nigerian cyber crime regulation, this Nigerian cyber crime act. Please don't forget about it. Know that anybody that is being caught will either pay over 100 million. Can you see that Hush Property today is still in prison and we don't know when it's going to be released? Please make sure everything you do, whoever you practice it on, apart from yourself, apart from the lab you build yourself, just to do some screenshot and put it on maybe social media such as LinkedIn or any other social media like Twitter, do not do anything outside somebody's right. So ethical hacking is a very good course. The like Annie Rand said, he said the question isn't who is going to let me, it is who is going to stop me. That is ethical hacking. Me, I would say hack the hackers before they hack you. That is being given to one of my mentor in cybersecurity, and that is in the person of Rahul Yagi. He's a very big person. You can check him up right now, Rahul Yagi. So that is all about introduction to ethical hacking. Before the next class, we're going to be doing our lab setup. We're going to be setting up Kali Linux, Metasploitable, Bbox, and Windows 10, which you are going to be doing Windows 11 in Oracle Virtual Box. And we're also going to be doing the same installation inside VMware. So it depends on which one you want to use, and we're going to configure all of them. All of them works together and so on and so forth. And you can see how you can ping from one device to another device and mount and do one, so on and so forth. So thank you so much. And it was nice having you in this. Do you have any question you'd like to ask?
No, sir.
You
No,
don't
sir.
have
No,
any
sir.
question. Okay. In
No. Understood everything.
absence of any question, I would like to say thank you for attending this class. Till we see each other in the next class. I'm going to see if I'm going to be putting the slide also like this because this one was so stressful and it's time consuming. I'm going to see if I'm going to be putting the same slide like this, or I'm going to be making use of PDF, or possibly I'm going to be making use of typing on screen while I do what I'm doing. Maybe with notepad, maybe with notepad or something. Maybe with notepad and something like
Okay,
I can
sir.
just type ahead, yes, then I'll be telling you what I need to do, especially when I don't prepare. But if I prepare, I'm going to be doing that. Okay, I'm going to be doing that. Thank you
Okay,
so
sir.
much. Till I have you next class. Have a nice time. God bless you. Take care of yourself.
Okay, sir.
Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye, bye, sir.